This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at the interior. But before that, this video is brought to you by David Korn and Matthew Young. Thank you for being farm barons. So the interior map can be found at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you some of the description. Welcome to the interior, a small town hidden away in the mountains surrounded by endless hills of forest. On this standard size map that is set up for forestry needs, but you can also find some small amount of farming as well. This map includes 50 tracts of land that are buyable, 4 different species of trees, 4 fields, a small town going down the center of the map, many custom textures and places for you to explore. The map author does recommend the use of the Platinum Expansion DLC for the maximum forestry experience. Let's go ahead and load on in. We are going to use the mods we typically use when we take a look at maps. They are additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. And I'll also tell you, if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will not have any of the starting machinery. In addition, at the main starting area, you will be void of a couple sheds, and that is pretty much it. You still have a farmhouse. You're going to have some production that you own at the start in a greenhouse, and there are some storage silos off in the distance there that you also own. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA itself. And as you might expect, with a mountainous forestry region, areas east and west of the center valley are going to be very, very hilly forested areas. And then right down the center of the map, we basically have our valley, and that is, of course, where the main road is, as well as all of our fields and our production and sell points. This map does include all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22. And if we take a look at our lands area, you see we start by owning Farmland ID 12. That includes 2 of the 4 fields that are available on the map, as well as Farmland ID 11. Farmland ID 11 is mostly consisting of the main town area. We also have 2 different farmhouses here, one in Farmland ID 11 and one in Farmland ID 12. Go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the buyable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, and if those farmlands include any field or fields, what is included. Then lastly, how much is that farmland going to cost us? Overall, I'd say the farmlands are fairly inexpensive, given the mass profits that you can make off of forestry. If we go ahead and take a look at our field calculator screen, field calculator screen shows us the sizes of each particular field. So we own fields 3 and 4 at the start. They are 0.4 and 0.36 hectares respectively. Then we have field 1 and 2 that we can buy. That is 0.69 and 0.56 hectares respectively as well. This map does include the standard crop counter that is available to us in FS22. And if we take a look at our prices screen, you do see that we do have the ability to sell most, but not all of the base game crops. For whatever reason, we are missing the ability to sell cotton, but we definitely have the ability to plant cotton and harvest cotton on the map. In addition to that, we do not have the ability to sell our eggs or wool, which sadly is that we have a chicken coop in our starting area at the start. So we have the ability to buy chickens and raise chickens, but we don't have a way of getting rid of our eggs unless we put something down. We do have the ability to sell our milk, so if we do put down a cow area, we're good to go there. We also have sell points for silage, hay, straw, and grass. And then as we take a look down through our productions, well, you're going to see a common theme here, and that we do not have the ability to sell most of our productions. We do have the ability to sell our planks, and that is it as far as our standard productions go. We do have the ability to also sell our lime, but not buy lime. We do have a stone crusher, so we will be able to get rid of our stones. And then this map includes 3 more fill types. We have coal, dirt, and gravel. Those can all be bought at the old mine shaft, and then basically sold at one of the various sell points for profit, because we're getting coal, dirt, and gravel free from the old mine shaft. We do have a new fill type also in our production area in kiln dried, but sadly we do not have a sell point for kiln dried. So the only thing I can recommend there, is to set kiln drying up as auto sell. You will get money. I don't know how much. I don't know where it goes and sends it off to, other than the fact that just imagine it's shipping it off the map itself. But if you do set kiln dry to auto, it will, or auto sell, it will sell and you will get some profits. We do not have the ability to sell most of our platinum expansion items, except for we do have the ability to do our long planks as well as our wood beams. Those are available for production at the interior sawmill, and we do have the ability to get rid of those at the drying station. Lastly, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, we do have the ability to get rid of our separated manure. We start out with a modest list of starting equipment. It is all new, none of it is leased, and it's all well maintained. We have the chicken pasture, as I mentioned, as a starting chicken area. We do not have any chickens at the start. We do have contracts on the 2 fields that we do not own at the start. And while this says that we have 3 carpentry areas on this map, and we already own all 3 of them, there technically is only 1 carpentry area placed on the map. And I'm going to demonstrate this later on in the video. These are duplicated. There's one on top of each other 2 times over. We're going to also find the same thing is going to be happening at some of our fill silos, as well as a shed that's kind of in town that we can make use of. There's 2 sheds, so it's really, really difficult to get the door open, because oftentimes the shed trigger you're activating is not the shed that is on the exterior of the duplicate. You're opening like the interior shed, but not the exterior shed. It's really, really confusing, and it's sad something like that has gotten all the way through Giants testing to be released. I found it out in like 5 minutes. So hopefully that'll get fixed in an update very, very soon. We do have 100 Elm Creek collectibles also available on the map. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the Valtra N175 Direct Small Tractor. We have the Nova 330 Harvester that is paired up with the PowerStream 500 Grain Header. For our forestry machines, we have a Komatsu, a 931 XC Tree Harvester, Komatsu 875 Forwarder, and the MAN TGX 26640 Log Hauling Truck. We have our 1986 pickup truck, as well as the Mahindra Retriever. As far as our vehicles go, we have the Welger DK 115 trailer. We have a Samgard 9500K cultivator. We have the KG 3001 Super Power Hero. We have a Cynthia 3000 Super Cedar. These 2 are paired together typically. We have the 144 ND Tree Transport Pull Behind trailer. Then we have the SF 900. This is going to be the Penroth Stump Grinder. We have the Quickie Q5M front loader arms. And for the front loaders, we have the log fork. And then we have the MHAL 432035 flatbed trailer. As far as mods and DLCs go, we do not have any custom vehicles or implements that are part of this map. So we start out right here at our starting farmhouse. We have our sleep trigger. Then we have our shed where we do have some of our starting equipment. Our pickup truck with our retriever, or with our Mahindra Retriever on the flatbed. And then if we make our way over here, past this old barn, we're going to have a water fill point. We're going to have seed and mineral feed silo. We have a stainless steel fertilizer tank. Notice that down there in the corner, we have 2 entries. We have 2 entries for the seed tank as well. We have 2 entries for the liquid fertilizer tank. That is because these are duplicated on top of each other. And I only found this out because when I typically test maps, I try to sell things and see if they go away. Right? Water tank, up. I got $1,500, but it didn't go away. I got another $1,500, and now it's gone. See what I'm saying? These are duplicated. I just got $8,000. It's still there. Oh, now it's gone. Right, let me show you this. Remember we had 2 entries? I just got $11,750. But now I only have 1 entry. So all of these silos, for whatever reason, are duplicated. If you're having issues with these silos, it's quite possible because the triggers are getting mixed up. You're adding product to one silo, you're trying to draw product out of the other. So it's best to come in here and delete one of each of these if you do plan on using any of them at all. That's going to give you your best possible playing experience. Let's go ahead and check out the build mode. As far as our building and sheds, we have all standard sheds. We have standard silos, silos extensions, containers, farmhouses, and tools. As far as our production goes, we have a custom stone crusher that is available on the map that we can put down. Standard sell points, greenhouses, orchards, and generators. All of our animal areas are standard as well. And then as far as our deco, that is also, once again, standard. And let's go ahead and check our ground textures. Fairly standard looking ground textures also. I'm just going to go ahead and paint those down here. These are the fields that we own at the start. So we have our animal mud. We have our asphalt. We have our concrete. Our dirt. Forest ground. Grass. Gravel. Rock. And granite. Plants fairly standard. And then our trees. Once again, fairly standard assortment of trees. So with respect to our scoring system, we're giving the map a full point because we do have production being built in. We technically have 1 carpentry. We have 2 sawmills. We have a drying station. We have a stone crusher and a medium greenhouse. So the medium greenhouse is going to be further up the road here. These are the 2 fields that we do not own at the start. And then the greenhouse is going to be located right there. So we are giving the map a full point with respect to production. We are also giving the map a full point with respect to the farms being customizable because we can indeed sell. Sometimes we have to sell multiple things, but we can indeed sell all of the buildings here at the farms. Now, what we can't do is we can't get rid of these sheds here. These sheds are kind of low resolution. We can't get rid of those. So quite honestly, we probably really need to rethink our score and give the map maybe 3/4 of a point with respect to the farms being customizable because we do have this debris here. We do have this old barn that we can't get rid of. So overall, the area is not quite as flexible as one would like. We can sell the shed and we can sell the farmhouse for sure. Now, I'm going to run down here real quick because I want to talk to you about a couple other duplicated buildings. This shed is also duplicated. So we come up here, we open the gate. All right, you kind of saw some weirdness going on there, but the gate's still closed. Closed gate. Right? Well, you saw the animation, but it really didn't work. That's because, once again, there's 2 sheds. So if we come here and we sell one of them, I got $53,000 now. But the shed works. I don't know why or how this is coming up. Our carpentry, remember I said we had 3? Look, they're all here, right on top of each other, because we have 3 carpentry information areas down in the lower right. We can come here and we can sell 1. We can sell 2. And there, now we only have 1. So it seems like a pretty easy way to get a lot of money by selling these duplicate buildings, but I really don't think that it's deliberate or intentional. Now, as far as production goes, we do have the carpentry area. It is a fairly standard FS22 carpentry that takes wood and planks and makes furniture and wood chips. Sadly, we do not have the ability to sell that furniture, as I mentioned earlier in the video. So if you do own the carpentry shop and take wood to it, well, you will need to put down your own sell point for that furniture. We do own the medium greenhouse at the start. It is just a standard greenhouse. We have the old sawmill. The old sawmill is going to take regular wood and make wood beams and wood chips. Then we have the interior sawmill. Now, the interior sawmill is going to take wood and coal. That's going to make planks, wood chips, wood beams, and long planks. We have our drying station, which is going to accept the planks, wood beams, and long planks and make kiln dried wood. But remember, we cannot sell kiln dried wood. There is no sell point. So you need to set this to selling in order to get any money for that, or put down something like the universal sell everything mod. And then you'll be able to possibly get rid of the kiln dried as well. And then we have our stone crusher, stones, diesel, and water. And we're going to get coal, dirt, gravel, lime, and iron ore out as a result. Let's go ahead and kind of take to the altitudes a little bit. Down here in town, we do have a fuel station. We have our carpentry. We have a biomass heating plant. This is where we're going to be able to sell our logs and wood chips. We have our stone crusher. Now that's just a standard base game stone crusher. That's not the stone production. Here we have our vehicle shop. So we have our trigger here. Let's go ahead and get the Mahindra and just see where things spawn in. We also have our dealer trigger. But what we do not see is we do not see where the dealer trigger is located, because we do not have our markers. So a pretty decent area for vehicles to spawn in. There's no fences, there's no gates, so you shouldn't have any issue with large machinery. Behind the fuel point, we do have kind of a fuel storage area. We're going to go over the bridge here to the south, and then immediately we're going to hang a right, because this is where we find the old mine. And the old mine is where we're going to be able to find the dirt, gravel, and coal for free. Just pull up a trailer here and fill one of those 3 products at no cost to you. Further down the road, on the other side of the river, we have our old sawmill. So the old sawmill, we have our wood chip point. We have our wood drop off and wood sell icon right there. We have our interactive icon, and here's where our planks are going to spawn. Back across the street, we've got a giant pile of wood chips here. And if we buy the land, well, then we're going to have access to this giant pile of wood chips. Over on the other side of the giant pile of wood chips, we have a sell point located there. And while it's not showing up on the PDA, I believe that this is also a sell point right here. We do have trigger located right here. And below the ship, you're going to see we have our dump icon. So I'm thinking that this is also a sell point. To get to the old sawmill, you're going to have to go across the river. You have to take this windy road. Meets up here with this other road. That's going to take you around. And eventually drop you down over here across from the fuel point. The starting farm area is over here to our right, as well as our chicken area over here to our left with the second farmhouse trailer. We have our animal dealer below. And then past our fields, here we have the dryer. Okay, now the dryer triggers are a little confusing. This is where our product is going to spawn. So this is where the dried planks are going to spawn, the kiln dried product. This is an icon for nothing. It's just an exclamation point. Around the other side, here we have our input for our drying station, and we have our interactive icon right there. Now, this trigger is for our interior sawmill. This is where our output is going to come. So our planks or wood beams and our long planks are going to spawn here. Remember, we're going to take those and just take them straight over here to our dryer. Now, why it's not overly clear, this could be an area where we bring logs into the interior sawmill. But then we also have this area over here. So a dump icon there, and then we have the wood cell trigger located right there. So it's a little confusing as to what this is. Is this a log cell trigger that's independent of the production? Or is this where you're going to input your logs? Are they still tied together? We have our output for our wood chips located right there. Then our interactive icon for the interior sawmill is located over here at the small guardhouse. The last production that is available pre-placed on the map is going to be right here. The stone crusher. And this is where we're going to bring our various products. Our stone, diesel, and water. Then we're going to get coal, dirt, gravel, lime, and iron ore out. So we have our dump point. On the back, we have our output point. And we have an interactive icon at the front. And then our last selling station is all the way up here to the extreme north. This is the giant hole in the ground selling station. And there you go. Then the rest of the map is just very, very mountainous, hilly, forested areas. So with respect to the score, okay, bringing the map at full point, as I mentioned, for our production. Do note we do have, for whatever reason, a carpentry facility that has been duplicated, well, I guess triplicated, and your best bet is if you do want to use that carpentry to sell 2 of the instances so that you only have 1 carpentry. That way you won't have any conflicts with triggers kind of mixing in there. But you don't have the ability to get rid of your furniture, so you will need to put down your own furniture sell point. With respect to the ability to sell all of basic crops, animal outputs, and productions, well, there is a fair bit of things that you cannot sell unless you put down your own sell point. So we're going to be giving the map just a half a point there, because as far as our crops go, we do not have the ability to sell cotton. We are also missing, oddly, the ability to sell our eggs, even though we do have a chicken pasture pre-placed on the map in all play modes. We also do not have the ability to sell any other productions other than our standard planks, as well as our long planks and wood beams from the Platinum expansion. With respect to can the farm be customized, we're giving the map 3/4 of the point there, because there are some deco buildings and some old deco machinery that is permanently placed on the map that we cannot get rid of. We are going to be giving the map a 3/4 of a point. Sorry. We're going to be giving the map 3/4 of a point with respect to buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique. Those buildings at the main starting farm area or the main forestry area, well, they are using pretty old and pretty low res textures. And there's a couple other buildings that we're going to find scattered around the town area that I feel are also very, very similar in that regard. Then lastly, with respect to trigger and interactive areas being clearly marked. Well, we don't have the marker indicators at the shop for our dealer trigger. We are also missing what I believe is trigger markers, and then the floating blue icon is kind of under the boat down at the barge area. I do believe that that is also a sell point. So we're going to be taking off 1/4 of a point there as well. That's going to give this map a score of 3.75 out of 5. Here we have our 3 forestry machines also. I didn't point that out earlier. I would love to know what you all think down in the comments below with respect to this map. I like these forestry maps. I think it's an interesting spin and always a little refreshing to see these types of things. I do wish that this map was maybe going to get an update in order to resolve some of these duplicate buildings, like the shed, the 3 carpentries, and then the duplicated silos that are over here. But if you know that these things are duplicated and you sell the duplicates, then you're going to start with a little extra money as opposed to everyone else. And then you really shouldn't run into any sort of trigger conflicts. And until next time, happy farming.